All right, let's welcome to the stage BusyBox.
Hi everyone, my name's Allison, and this is Sarah, Kayla, and Monica, and we are BusyBox. So 1 in 2 sexually active young people will contract an STD by the time they are 25. These include infections such as chlamydia, gonorrhea, HIV, herpes, and many others. And while these names might sound scary, most are easily treatable. And all are easily preventable with condoms and other barrier contraceptives. Unfortunately though, data shows that only about 48% of college students consistently use a condom when having sex. Most of us know that condoms are readily available at drugstores and health clinics. So why is this number so low? Well, we believe a lot of it has to do with the embarrassment and the stigma associated with buying these types of items in person. As college students, we have seen and experienced this awkwardness firsthand. And we're not the only ones. In a study on the subject, over 60% of participants reported feeling moderately to severely embarrassed when buying condoms. As a team, we wanted to create a better experience when it comes to having sex. Through our conversations with relevant stakeholders, such as students, educators, physicians, and public health experts, we determined that the best place to focus our solution is here, at the intermediate stage between information, when young people are thinking about having sex, and preparation, when they actually need to buy the proper supplies. So we created a product that combines relevant educational materials with real, quality sex supplies in order to reduce the consequences of unsafe sex, such as STDs and pregnancy. That product is BusyBox. BusyBox is a monthly subscription box that delivers a personalized selection of quality safe sex supplies right to your door. It eliminates the hassle, confusion, and embarrassment of having to buy these types of items through traditional retailers. Now, I've talked a lot about condoms, but of course that's not the only useful item when it comes to having sex. Your BusyBox can contain contraceptives, lubricant, pregnancy, and UTI tests. Now, we surveyed over 300 U of M students, 77% of whom said they'd be interested in our product. And we used their feedback to determine exactly what our customers want to see in our box, as well as how much they'd really be willing to pay for it. From there, we ran a short paid test pilot with 7 users where they ordered a box, and we created and delivered it to them. So as we move forward, how would a user actually order a box? Well, you go to our website and you set up a confidential user profile. Then you get to choose exactly what goes into your box for that month. This is where you really get to customize things and choose the items that fit your wants and needs. You also get to choose between our basic box and our premium box. With both options, you get to choose 4 components for each box. With the premium subscription, you also get additional varieties of condoms and lube to choose from, and you get a bonus item, which could be another safe sex item or a fun item like a sex toy, for example. But safe sex supplies aren't the only thing you'll find in your box. As I said, we want to intervene at the intersection of education and preparation, so young people can be smarter about having sex. So each box contains a small card with an educational infographic, such as this one, on some sex-related topic. These can include sexual health and anatomy, gender and sexual identity, STDs, healthy relationships, and many others. Just like the rest of your box, these are tailored specifically to you based on what you fill out in your user profile. If you want to take this education even further, on the back of the card, you'll find a QR code. When scanned, it will take you to a short online video or activity. If you complete the activity, you will receive $1 off your next month's box. This incentive is designed to really encourage people to take control of their sexual health and their understanding of these important topics, which is really a core part of our brand here at BusyBox. Now, you've probably heard of many of these brands. They are some of the most successful and well-known examples of subscription and mail order boxes. So we know this is a model that works. At BusyBox, we've taken this model and brought it to a market that really needs it. We are doing for sex and sex education what these brands have done for their respective industries. But unlike the beauty or fashion industry, for example, where there's hundreds of competitors, in our market, there's nothing else like us that exists. BusyBox is the first and only subscription box made for safe and healthy sex. So our competition then is just the traditional retailers, your Walgreens, Amazon, and a free health clinic if you have one. All of them provide quality safe sex supplies, maybe at slightly different price points depending on what you're buying. With Amazon, you get the added convenience of online ordering, but then you get those annoying ads all over your computer telling you to go back to Amazon and buy more condoms. BusyBox is not only completely convenient, it's also private and ad-free. It's also the only option that's completely customizable and educational. Looking ahead for our business, we want to launch our website in the next few months to start selling boxes to a larger market. We want to connect with suppliers, such as big-name condom brands, in order to cut our costs and increase the variety of products that we offer in our boxes. We also want to look into partnering with a company called MyLabBox, which is one of the only companies to offer at-home STD test kits, which is something our users are very interested in. Our BusyBox team has extensive expertise in public health, sexual health, and education. We all have a variety of interests and backgrounds, but we all have a shared passion for improving the sexual health and happiness of fellow young people. And more importantly, for creating a product that addresses this need that's too often considered taboo. At BusyBox, we believe that everyone deserves to be properly prepared, informed, and educated when it comes to having sex. That's why we want to put a BusyBox in the hands of people everywhere. Thank you. And we brought a couple boxes that we're going to pass around to you.
So I actually don't have a question. I just want to say I love this idea. It's simple, it's easy to understand, it's absolutely addressing a pressing problem, and it's a riff on what is obviously a growing and highly lucrative industry in terms of getting customizable things that people want or need in through the mail. So that's it. I think it's great.
Thank you.
And about marketing. We talked a little bit in your first presentation about ads and protection. Have you thought about influencers at all and who might promote your brand in terms of people that would want to push out BusyBox to people who might want to know about it?
Yeah, so when we found a whole slew of different infographics that we can include in the boxes, and they come from a variety of different sources. Sources like Bedsider, which is a website that helps people remember to take birth control on time and provides information about that, but also things like Cosmo. And so there's a whole variety of different parties that we think would be really interested in this. And moving forward, we'd want to contact those sources, and I think that they would be really interested in helping us advertise. Yeah, I think.
We also thought about talking with different health organizations in different counties and states to see if they would like to either partner with us or buy BusyBoxes from us, so then they can give them to their users in their counties and states and stuff like that too.
One question and one comment. So what was the gender distribution of your paid pilot?
I believe it was 5 women and 2 men.
6 women.
No, it was 5 and 2. Yeah.
That's good. You have the breakout there. Second, I was wondering if you thought not only about sort of the students, but also parents and family members. I know as an uncle, this might be a wise investment for other family members.
Yep.
So just wondering if you thought about those other markets.
We did think about going out to those markets, especially new parents or young parents who have a lot of kids at home, don't necessarily have the time to run out to the store, or even older people who might not be able to get around as well, might just be really convenient to have it delivered to them, since these are also people who are all sexually active.
Right, and something that's similar that somebody talked to us about is when we got accepted to Michigan, I got this flyer in the mail saying buy this sheet and towel set for your child to go to school. So that's something that we could model off of if the university allows it, to send out hey, buy your kids sheets and towels and condoms also.
Okay. Michigan branding, right, on the BusyBox.
The Michigan difference.
It's the inbox. So I want to pick up right where you left off there, because you hinted at something that I raised in our earlier discussion. discussion back, in the room before the finals. I could see this being wildly successful in places like Ann Arbor and college campuses all over the country that are fairly liberal and fairly open-minded. With success comes exposure, and with exposure comes the other side of the coin. So the question that I posed to folks backstage, and I wanted to know what you guys thought, is suppose someday you're on Fox News and they're asking you, are you guys promoting sex? What's the downside of this, if any, and how would you respond to a critic that may or may not be coming from a totally rational, well thought out place?
Does one of you want to speak?
So we definitely acknowledge that the space we're working in right now has a lot of stigma surrounding sexual activity. And I think if we ever got a comment like that or a question like that, I would say that we're not necessarily promoting people having sex. We're promoting that when people choose to have sex, they can do it safely and they can also have a really great experience. We're not only going to be educating people about how to have safe sex and not get an STD and avoid pregnancy, but we'll also be educating about all sorts of other things like gender identity and sexuality so that people can be more understanding and tolerant and inclusive, and also on things like pleasure so that people can have not only safe sexual experiences, but they can really genuinely enjoy them, and also on things like consent. There's clearly a lot of I don't want to say gray area, because I don't think it should be gray area, but I guess a lot of people in our society see some gray area around consent, which is kind of really epitomized by the Me Too movement that's going on. So I think we would be promoting not necessarily sex, but people being able to have positive, empowered, fun, safe sexual experiences so they can really live their best lives.
I also just want to really quickly add that while I acknowledge everyone's viewpoint, and I'm not going to say you're wrong to something, there have been a lot of empirical studies done that show that providing sex supplies, like colleges or schools that provide condoms, does not actually increase the number of people who are having sex. It just makes the people who are safer.
I'm going to close it out with the really mundane. Can we come back to the financials? And we talked.
Yeah. Sure.
Is this the time to talk about a cold shower? So the financials, we talked this morning a little bit about your profit margins and the pretty significant profit margins. But I also want to come back to investment capital. What's it going to take from initial capital to get this launched in a way that you can achieve these kinds of margins and achieve the kind of growth you want? Have you thought about the initial capital infusion?
I can't say that we've thought about initial capital a ton. I think if we were to win this competition and win that $10,000, that would be a really great upfront investment, because for a lot of these prices up here, you have to order in really large quantities. So we're not going to buy 5 condoms at 6 cents a condom, So we would need that kind of upfront boost to get us to be able to order at these quantities and these prices. So I think we would look towards more opportunities like the one presented through Innovation in Action. We'd also look to meet specifically, like we talked about, reaching out to large companies like Trojan or MyLabBox, or places that we've received some of the educational info. I think that they would be interested in not only maybe advertising with us, but also funding our project as we get started.
My comment is just to reiterate what people have said. It's a great idea, great opportunity. I would say that going forward, you should think a lot more about the cost side, what you're going to need in capital, how you're going to grow the business. And I think your idea of partnering with MyLab is, once you've established the concept in a serious way, is a great idea. Yeah. There's a great combination there.
We've actually already reached out to MyLabBox and asked them if they would be interested in supplying their kits at maybe a reduced cost for our customers, and they said they were. I think they said a 20% discount?
Yeah, that they could start at a 20% discount, and then as we grow, we'd hope to establish a more mutual relationship.
Yeah.
Okay.